morning, everybody. By this time it's Christmas afternoon, and this is a Merry Christmas tape to Rebecca and the rest of the Smith family. This is your baby over there. My name's Sandy Cogman. I'm an engineer with Norfolk-Southern, and it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're getting ready to go ride on freight train back to Columbia. We're in Augusta, Georgia. This is a motel where we stay, and that's old Cuz.
I do. Greetings to everyone in Colorado.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Al's name is Al Wachter. He's a conductor on the train. He's my cousin, and we're both very fortunate to have Chris, his name now is Junior, working training with us. I'm Chris's coach for this on this leg of the Piedmont division between Columbia and Augusta, and I must say he's doing mighty well at running the engine. We thought, since you all being out there in Colorado and most likely interested in what's going on over here, we just take you to work with us and let you see how everything, let you see what a day in the life of working on the railroad in South Carolina is all about. We'll be picked up by the taxi cab here shortly and transported over to the railroad yard and then dumped out, and hopefully we'll get a train with our name on it, and then we'll take off heading for Columbia. Well, good morning again, everybody. We're now on the train. We've arrived Nixon Yard. This is the Nixon Yard office. Got the little Christmas lights up, and old Cuz in there getting his last cup of coffee, and Chris and I on the train, and we're getting ready to pull down and get ready to leave here and head to Columbia. There's old Chris over here in the driver's seat. He's gonna be operating today, and we're gonna get to see him in action and get a big picture. He's gonna tell us about everything that goes on about running the train. Isn't that right?
I'm gonna try.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's take a pull on it. We're gonna do this train is long, 100 or more cars, and we're gonna pull down, and Al's gonna make a cut on it. He's gonna hold to the cars that we're supposed to have and to go to Columbia with, and we're gonna put the EOT marker that's taking the place of the caboose. It's got the little red flashing light on it on the rear, and we're gonna...
That ET's gonna be a 6463. You wanna try it, I'll drop the battery.
Alright, gonna dial in a 6443.
6463.
6463, alright.
Let me know when to drive it.
Alright.
We'll get the ET on the rear and we'll be ready to leave.
Does that EOT number start with a 7 or a 2?
7.
Alright, drop the battery in now.
Again, we're finally underway. Took us a little while to get going. There's old Cuz over here. He's what'd you say?
Good morning.
Yeah, again. Good morning again. He's taking care of his paperwork, and old Chris is over here. Got our munchkins up there in the window for later on for a little snack. And we've left Nixon and heading to Augusta, Georgia. That bridge is Bobby Jones Expressway. We're getting ready to go under, and we're about 2 miles from entering Augusta Yard, where we'll make a little pickup. We'll add some cars to the train, and then we'll leave there and head to Columbia.
Good morning again.
Good morning again. The engineer with his feet propped up and his hand on the throttle. He's doing the job.
Got
We're
a mile. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
As I said, we got about a mile and a half to go and get it down to 10 miles an hour.
That's right. Go through Augusta Yard.
Or 20 at the yard for it.
Yep. Why don't you explain to them while you got a little bit of time to talk what all the levers and everything are.
Alright, this right here is the dynamic brake. That's using the engine and the traction motors to slow us down. I'm going to ease on up because we're going 30 miles an hour and we got a mile to go to get it down to 20, so I can kind of ease along now. This is a horn, which I'm supposed to already be blowing prior to that. That turns the bell off.
Big yellow square.
The big yellow square.
What's these two handles on the left here?
This is the brake for the train, the air brake. And it draws the brakes down on the cars. And this is the engine brake. Draw the brakes down on the engine. These are the computer screens, and I'm getting ready to set my foot counter at this milepost up here at the 128. That'll let me know when I can watch my counter and know I have a mile to go.
For slowing down, right? For the yard limit board.
Right here's my counter. I'm at 300 feet, so when I get to 5,200 feet, I know I need to be going 20 miles an hour. Right now I'm going 25. This is the speed recorder, which is what we call the speedometer on a car. This is the throttle down here. We're not using it right now because we're slowing down. This would make us speed up. This right here is the reverser. You put it in the direction you want to move, like forward or backwards or centered when you're stopped. We just passed a whistle post. That means you're supposed to start blowing the horn pretty soon. Or right there, actually. I kind of gauge it by my speed. If I'm going slow, I might wait a little bit longer.
In other words, you're using a little common sense, right?
That's right. I'm using what God gave me in my brain, my common sense.
Yeah, exactly right. Chris is going to be a good engineer one of these days real soon because he's got some good old common horse sense. See the lights flashing on the crossing? They come on automatically. We run over a circuit, turns them on. Those lights way out in the distance, that's the beginnings of Augusta Yard. We've got about a mile to go before we'll get there. Do our picking up. This is the cab card on the engine. It tells what kind of locomotive this is. This locomotive, I can't take this picture and read it as at the same time, but this locomotive is about a year old. It's 4,000 horsepower. We're operating 2 engines on the train. We'll have them all the way to Columbia. They're both big units. The other one, this is a General Electric locomotive. The one in the rear is a General Motors, a GM locomotive. 2 different companies. Those are the 2 locomotive builders in the United States. Yeah.
You're supposed to make a festive movie. You sound too much like the Discovery Channel.
Well, we're gonna get festive here when old Saw peeks up over the horizon.
We'll have to join in a rousing rendition of some Christmas Carol.
That's right.
A rousing rendition.
A rousing rendition of A Christmas Carol.
You need me to turn the light on?
No, we're doing fine. It's got you all. You're all smeared all over this screen here.
Show my fast it goes.
Yeah, we got a speedometer up over here. That's so I can keep up with what Junior's doing.
You all right, Vic?
Y'all pulling through that number 8 train gonna pick up out of 11
Yes, sir, that's right.
All right.
That's a switch engine right there. That's a 2,000 horsepower GP38.
That's older than Chris.
That's older than Chris. That's right, cuz.
That's right.
That engine was built about 1971 or 2. We're going down the ladder to track number 8. We're going to go through track number 8.
Oh, we lined up. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, we lined up.
And we're going to pick up cars that are in number 11. And the sun is starting to break on the horizon a little bit. I mean, we've got some pink clouds coming. It's 25 degrees this morning. We've had some strange weather here in the last few days. It was, we got down to Vaucluse, that's a pass track yesterday, and it was, we got in there and it was sleeting and snowing for about 30 minutes. No accumulation, it was about 40 degrees. The temperature yesterday dropped from, I guess, in the 50s on down to what it is now. It went down to 25. It's going to go up to, according to the weatherman, give y'all the weather forecast, go up to the mid-40s today, and then down to, they said, into the teens tonight. So it'll be frigid. Going through track number 8 now. And those cars right over there that we're looking at, that's track number 11, and we're going to pick those cars up and take them with us. We do have 3 short hauls. A short haul is a car that we've got to set off on line of road that we've got 3 Aikens that go to Aiken, South Carolina, and we'll take them and set those cars off at a little town called Warrenville. I reckon you're going to set them off at Bath.
It don't matter, and they probably don't care.
They probably don't care. You're right. Because we got to be right. You know, we might
You're going to kill the battery with this documentary here. And then
well, now, they might want to hire
fun
us
stuff.
out for National Geographic or something like that. Now, you know how this is. Man, we got to do it right. Why, Lord have mercy, Chris's stepdaddy is a TV man of all things. He's liable to put us in. We liable to be showed, this thing liable to be showed up coast to coast.
Yeah.
Got white targets for us, ain't it?
Yeah, y'all give up the track while I'm on the ground here.
Okay.
Tone him up, Chris.
Where you want me to?
Talk to y'all in a
One's
minute.
fine.
Well, we've made our pickup and we're leaving Augusta now. We've got our paperwork and we're easing up here to the end of track number 8. Al's over there with Chris. Chris is hiding behind the control stand running the engine. And they're inspecting, there he is. They're inspecting the switches to make sure we're lined out.
Yeah, we don't want to run through no switches.
We don't want to run through no switches.
Off right before Christmas.
That's right.
Not having on tape.
Well, shoot, man, you're gonna be going out yonder to Colorado. You'd have a big old time if you was off. I might would go with you.
Off of good
Your mama probably wouldn't be able to afford to feed me though if I came.
You need to tell them about your special camera there. Most cameras only add 15 pounds. That camera adds 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. When you see me, I'm just a mere shadow of what's going to be on this film here. Makes you look big. All right, we're lined up. We're lined up across the street. And we're going to do what Chris calls a little street running. We're going to run right through the middle of downtown Augusta street level. And there'll be cars zipping around all around us and whatnot. And it's a little unusual. We don't have any place else on the division that we run street level. And show you a few things about downtown Augusta. And we'll be on our way toward Columbia. Yeah, there's old cuz out there. We got the camera propped up on a Bible where it'll sit still for a little bit. We might ride through town like this. Yeah, that's gonna work good. All right, we're stopping. We're gonna make another stop here at this switch. See that? I guess you can see that red target on that switch stand. It's barely in sight right now. Al's got to get down and throw that switch. This is a That track to the left is the Seaboard Main Line, CSX Main Line. We go right straight through the middle of town on our track and go across the Savannah River. That up in front of us is downtown Augusta, and it's of course 7:30 in the morning. There's going to be people all over the place. You can see from there people going to work. We've got 3 or 4 street crossings that gets kind of hairy sometimes as far as getting over them, but we get through there and go across the Savannah River, which is the state line between Georgia and South Carolina, into the beautiful state of South Carolina, and we'll be going along our little journey. All right, we're underway again. We're leaving, starting through downtown Augusta. Yeah, I know it. What you see right there is what we see every day. People jockeying to get across in front of us.
You ought to lean on this thing, cuz right through the...
Augusta's got a right pretty skyline. That's a building up on top of a building up there. Church steeples. Got a lot of old churches in Augusta. Real pretty old churches.
A lot of churches in this town.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Beautiful little church.
Yeah, a bunch of pretty old churches. A lot of history down here.
To the motel.
We're entering what we call the red light district. Not just because there's a red light or two around, but because this is, you know, Augusta is also a town military base. Fort Gordon is down here. A lot of service people. And also, this town happens to be one of the places that these service boys can get a tattoo. And you can't get a tattoo in South Carolina, so everybody comes to Georgia to get a tattoo. And
Chris to show you his tattoo.
yeah, we'll have to get Chris to show you his tattoo.
They weren't supposed to say nothing about that.
Yeah, that's right. We just had a car go in front of us that we didn't get on the tape. Have a lot of near misses.
Did you get that blue car?
No, it missed it.
It went under the engine.
It went under the engine.
It almost did.
Yeah. We have a lot of near misses on this line, especially during the daytime that we run.
Daisy Duke in the Whistle Stop Cafe.
Yeah, there's a Whistle Stop Cafe right there, and got Daisy Duke, a pretty little old blonde that wears short breeches in there. Just gets us old men all tore up, but. Yeah, I need to be over there. She's in there. She's hustling for tips, serving eggs and grits. Right on up here is the famous Joker's Wild. And that's a club that all railroad men at one time or another have frequented. It's got showgirls. And if we're lucky enough to come through here about 2 o'clock in the morning right before they get off, well, they'll come out that door and give us a little peep show. Oh, Chris likes that, you see. Al and I, we just satisfied with a girl with Daisy Duke shorts on her. Chris likes for the real thing to come out. But,
I don't know about all that.
They know Chris by his first name.
yeah, they know Chris by his first name.
You guys
See, it does those young boys good for things like that. It don't do much for us old men.
Get a better avenue of Broad Street.
This is Broad Street in Augusta. The Joker's Wild is more commonly known as the tit joint. We might have to do a little bleeping out for Eddie and your little sister. They can handle it.
they can get it.
All right. We got one more crossing to go across, and then we'll go across the Savannah River Bridge. This bridge used to be a drawbridge years ago. They used to have boat traffic on the Savannah River. They've since laid ribbon rail. We don't have any jointed rail on the main line. They've laid ribbon rail, and they can't draw the drawbridge up anymore, so it's stationary. There's one of the old churches. That's
right here on the corner.
Hey, see if you can get the
And these walkways going up either side of the railroad track, Augusta has built a walking park. It's a real nice thing on the riverbank, and people get up there and they walk, and they have a museum and watch the boats go by, and they walk up here, and you can go to the left and go down through there a mile or so, walking on top of the levee, and that's what this is. We're going through is a levee right here. The town of Augusta is low, and was prone to flood back in earlier days before the system of dams and locks and so forth got built. They got a set of locks down the river here a few miles. And you see clear in South Carolina. Got the boats parked over here. And now we're looking over into the beautiful state of South Carolina. There's an old houseboat down there. Somebody built a 2-story house on pontoons. We worry about this old trestle. This is a trestle. A lot of people call any railroad bridge a trestle, but there's a difference between a trestle and a bridge. A trestle has overhead spans. A bridge does not. A bridge is just an open deck. Not necessarily open deck, but it's just open, has no overhead or side spans on it. Remember that.
You never told me that, you know. 192 to Nixon.
Got a little railroad education there. And as soon as we get over this bridge here, or trestle rather, here I am messing up. It's 10 miles an hour. As soon as we get over that, we'll pick the speed up to 45 miles an hour, and we'll go on up to Warrenville and set off.
It's not worth it.
Getting the sunrise, cuz.
Yeah, old Saul getting ready to peep over the... That's Saul right there. He just peeped over the treetops. Yes, sir. All right. We're motivating along. We're passing through this place is called Hamburg Industries. They repair freight cars, auto racks, box cars, anything like this. This is a contractor that the railroads use to upgrade their equipment.
Used to be the old Southern Railway Yard.
Yeah, it used to be the Southern Railway Yard years and years ago. This line we're running on is part of the original railroad that was the South Carolina Canal Railroad. I'm right, aren't I? It ran from Charleston to Hamburg. The oldest railroad in the nation we're riding on. And so it's a little historical trivia there. But they repair these cars. This spot right up here ahead of us is a 25-mile-an-hour slow order. This is a new bridge. Now this is a little bridge that they have rebuilt. Culvert collapsed, and it's on the right over here is swampland, and they've rebuilt it. And we've got 25 miles an hour over this bridge until the rear of the train gets over, and then we'll pick it on up to the line speed. Chris is over there doing his thing.
I'd see some game up here. We saw turkeys last trip.
Yeah, we saw turkeys last trip right there where that yellow boxcar is in front of us. We see some wildlife on this trip, not a whole lot. We have other lines that you see a lot more wildlife, but occasionally we see a few deer, see some turkeys once in a while. But we ride through a lot of farmland on this run. This run's about an 85-mile run from Columbia to Augusta. Running time is about 3 hours. This, basically speaking, is a rocking chair job, an old man's job. We like it. Al and I like it because Al's got three young'uns he's trying to keep going, and I've got a kid in college, so it's kind of like these old men need to work regular to, get all that paid for. You all know what I'm talking about. And
So that's the reason we like it. We like it. It's basically daylight, early morning, and we'll be off by lunchtime. And our runs coming south are usually around 10 to 12 hours, and our runs going north are, you know, mostly a little less than 8 hours. And we get off today. We'll be off by lunchtime and have all afternoon and evening off tonight. And we'll go back to work 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. Come back and do it again. And that's the way it works 7 days a week with us. We like it that way because we can take time off when we want it rather than have a forced off day on us. And so that's just little tidbits there of how life is with us. Chris has been with us now for 2 weeks, and we really had a good time. It's been real nice. Chris has came out of engineer school, top in his class, and when you got somebody that's like that and cares that much about his job, then he's going to be a good trainee, and he is. He's got his heart in it, and he's going to make a good engineer. We're just going to keep on working on it. Get qualified as an engineer takes 8-9 months, and to get to where you can run one on your own. Al's been on the railroad about, how long, 21 years, Al? 22 years. I've been on the railroad 25. Al's been a conductor all his career out here, and I started out as a brakeman, and then I went to engineer school, and I've been an engineer for about 22 years. And so I was a brakeman for 3 years, and then went into engineer school. So that's pretty much what we've done. He and I have worked together for about, basically speaking, the last 5 years. So we do pretty well. We're about to get the speed up now, and we're going to roll along and get up to Warrenville to do our setting off.
Come on now, come on now.
Yeah, now we take it.
Howdy doody. Going 40 miles an hour now.
Yeah.
Trying to get them up there.
Now this is our
got him in, Chris?
star pupil
Company
and train.
Dodge 8.
Let the big dogs eat.
Yeah, let the big dogs eat.
43 miles an hour. And we're traveling through beautiful South Carolina swampland. Approaching the town of Bath, which is just above Clearwater. Right up here is some of Chris's handiwork. There's a couple of chickens he got.
Now this is the crossing where the chicken crosses the railroad, isn't it?
The chicken crosses the railroad, and Chris waxed one on his first trip south. Feathers are flying. You'd have been proud, Mom.
This is going to be educational.
Bill Hauser. This town of Bath, the old mill village, but the mill's been tore down.
Steam coming up.
This is Langley Pond in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's the world's largest pond. It's in the famous Horse Creek Valley area of lower South Carolina.
Alright, we passed the emergency start to the area to go 42, not super quick, just lightly. How you gonna do? You gonna go up here and shut off and put the dynamic to them, stop up to the other end? Yeah. That's good. What do you want to do? Hold how many, Al?
8.
8. You want down at the derail and then pull by, make a cut, set 3 in.
When Chris gets qualified, he'll receive a hat like this.
That's right. We put this hat on him though, but the only problem is he can't see anything because he's got a little old coconut.
Well, that just proves one thing: his head ain't big as a bucket like yours is.
Isn't that the truth? Let's start up.
Hello, everybody. We just got done setting some cars off.
Yeah, I got 68 on the rear, cuz.
Back there is, you can see the rear car we set off back there past that switch and that. There we go, right there. There's Al putting a brake on it. That's what a conductor does right there, doing his job. And one of the things I've learned while you're stopped and the conductor's doing work is a good time for the engineer to use the restroom. So I'm going to turn the light on and head down the steps. I'm not going to make this a graphic video, but I'm going to show you what all we got to use here. That's the restroom. There's the commode and the sink. And outside the restroom, we got this little area here to put your bags and a fire extinguisher. And these are fusees, flares. That's the door right there. Take a little picture outside. There's the track we're going to be going down here in a few minutes. Going to the left goes to Columbia, and this track to the right goes to Aiken. And that's where the Aiken local goes. So that's what we got here, and this is the town of Warrenville. Warrenville, South Carolina. There's the station sign. So that's what we got, and I'm going to take a break, use the restroom, and we'll be on our way.
What you doing there, Chrissy?
Checking my track warrants.
Checking your track warrant.
We got one to Vaucluse, and then we got one to Summit, but we can't leave Vaucluse until the 8513 engine comes.
Okay. So we'll be looking for a train with a 8513 engine.
That's right.
We're leaving Warrenville.
Leaving Warrenville. This right here is my profile. This is my cheat sheet that tells me everything I got to do to get this train.
That's exactly right. You follow all of that, we ought to get there.
We ought to get there in one piece.
Hopefully in one piece. This is all bridge department materials. They've been rebuilding a couple of bridges on the other side of Graniteville. The next little town we come to is Graniteville. These are little mill towns. The mill's about shut down now, but little mill town, just mill villages.
Mill ain't shut down, it's just automated.
Yeah, it's all automated now. Yeah. All right, cuz.
All right, we leaving Warrenville now, and coming up in this curve is some more of Chris's handiwork. Last trip, 3 old pot liquor dogs out here in the middle of the track. Old Chris got 2 of them. Took them out of the gene pool. Did a good job. We'll get a good shot of them here in a minute. Let me zoom this thing in. Yeah, there's one, that big old white one there. He wasn't good for nothing.
I done covered one of them up with a blanket, it looks like.
What do we got here?
There's the other.
Trash. There's the dog. Rest in peace there, buddy.
We coming into the town of Graniteville.
We're gonna meet a train around the corner, aren't we? Yeah, tell them about the train.
Yeah, we're gonna meet a train around here at Vaucluse, which is about a mile away.
It is 192, non-automatic block clear, Graniteville out. What's that engine on 85 what?
That's a railroad signal on the right, non-automatic block clear. That tells us that the switch at the next siding is right.
South for location, please.
178, 3 miles, folks. Looking at the show, that rooftop.
All right, so bring them on town. We coming through Graniteville. We'll be around there, of course, take care of the route for you.
Roger.
racing. It's not really due to Chris's driving.
22 degrees on the
Just
bank
a
clock.
rough ride.
Just keep holding them down all through here.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And we coming around
You get up on top of the
last
first hump,
big
then start
crossing out
shutting
of
off.
Graniteville.
Unless you get too fast, you know.
We're doing about 32.
Yeah, that's fine. Let them roll.
And we'll be looking at Vaucluse siding here shortly.
NS 192, spring switch marker light clear, south end Vaucluse out.
Now the opposing train will head in the other end of this siding. We'll see him in a little bit. We'll get the switch back behind him.
Absolutely.
This is still coming down Vaucluse siding. Chris
How
says this
fast
looks
going?
like a roller coaster.
Good, good.
And he is partly right.
Kind of use it alone.
Yeah.
At the top of that, Chris, is that
This
what
railroad
No.
was not
From
graded
that
when it was
curve, you only
built.
got-
I
you
just
need to
followed
shut
a
him off
coon dog
now.
through the woods,
Set the
chopping
dynamic
down
up.
trees and dumping out rock. It's just laid on top of the ground and it's rough as a cob.
cut into you a little bit?
Yeah, they're gonna come into you now, but that's all right. When you get around the curve, you don't have it about 1,200 feet, remember, to where we need to be stopped, 1,300 feet. So, you know, get on up here by that second white post on the right, and we'll start cutting on them pretty good. You know, get the speed on down and then let them float over the top. That's what we want to try to do. We can. Yeah, load him up a little bit. That's good. Boy, it's a pretty day, ain't it, compared to yesterday? How fast?
25.
25. Tighten him on up a little bit, Chrissy.
Yeah, I got everything we got.
Yeah, okay. Hold him tight. Speed,
19.
19. Lighten up a little bit now. Let's let them roll on around there a little bit. See, we're coming over right stiff like that hump.
And we got to stop down there for that track ends in the clear point, and here comes the train that we're meeting. He's going to head in the side.
Very lightly.
About like this.
Yeah, you're doing good. Steady as she goes. That's fine. That's all right. Good gracious, what in the world wrong with that engine they got? You know, it's the time we don't want to get in any hurry. Have you dimmed your headlight?
Yes, dude.
All right, good. Just let them roll. You may have to swap it back over now and pull, but we don't want to do anything. And this is where we'll make us, probably if you're going back to power now, we'll make an air brake
off
stop.
of the opposing train, Brother Ralph Mims,
Put
fixing
him
to
in
throw the
there. There you
switch
go.
and line his train in.
Leave it in number one. Stretch them out. They'll stretch out, so feel like they go stretching out real fast. But that's all right. Feather that throttle a little bit, pull us on up there to the clear point, and we'll use that air brake, make an air brake stop. Tell them about old Ralph. Old Ralph's getting ready to go through the big door, isn't he?
Yeah, Ralph is approaching retirement. He would be retired if the 60-30 had passed.
How old is Ralph?
I think Ralph was about to turn 60. He just won $12,000 in the Georgia lottery. On the cash 4, playing his house number.
Just right. You got him just right. See my stool over there, Chris?
That's for emergency purposes only.
Well, that's a good place to have.
Yeah, man. You're doing an excellent job. Just right. Just right.
My saddle up.
Anywhere in here?
Yeah, anywhere in here.
That's 85.
8513, is that the right one?
That's it.
That's the right engine. Always got to verify the engines. Get a picture of Ralph and Lawrence. That's Ralph Mims and Lawrence Burrell. Good fellas.
Smile.
He doesn't know.
Set off 3 at Warrenville. Head car NS 240686. Rear car NS 245-078. In at 750 out of 805.
Guess I can't pick my nose now.
No, you can't pick your nose right now.
Alright, 192, got you sitting on 3 cars at Warrenville, the head car, the NS 240686, rear car, the NS 245078, in at 750 out of 805, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. 192 over 9.
What's a big dog eat?
Number 8. Here we go. We're getting ready for a long, hard pull up Trenton Hill. Yesterday a train stopped, stalled out going up this hill. I believe we'll be all right today though.
Coffee, your donut?
Yeah.
Your donut, Chris?
Yeah, I'll have one.
Tell your mama you just graduated up to eating and driving.
Yeah, I graduated yesterday to eating and driving.
We didn't let Chris eat and drive because he loses his concentration, but now he's graduated, so things are he's moving up on the totem pole. Country. $174-mile post. We've got about 65 miles to get to Columbia. We've got to stop it. We've got a running ticket. In other words, our right of track goes from Vaucluse to Summit. Summit is a little town right outside of Columbia, about 20 miles, and we most likely will have to meet another train there. Maybe not, we don't know yet, but that's the next passing track. From here though to there is our railroad, so we're gonna rock and roll.
getting ready to go under the interstate. This is I-20. Traffic going to the left is going to Augusta.
Chris broke that tree yesterday.
Traffic going to the right. Yeah, Chris ran over that tree yesterday. We hit about 4 trees yesterday due to the weather. Traffic going to the right is going to Columbia. We're going, I know you can't tell it by the tape, but we're going straight up the hill. It's a pretty steep pull for a railroad train, railroad engine. We're not running, but about, how fast we're going, Chrissy? 33 miles an hour, and he's got them wide open. Both these engines are big engines. A lot of times we'll get down to 7, 8 miles an hour on this hill, just due to the tonnage. If we've got 100 cars, you know, so forth, and we get down pretty slow. Box on the right back there, that's a rail greaser. Greases the insides of these curves. Every time the wheel runs over it, it squirts out a little daub of grease, and the inside flange of the wheel picks it up and carries it around the curve, and it reduces wear on the rails. That's a new innovative invention they've come up with in the last few years, and makes it hard on us engineers though, because it makes the wheels want to pick up spin on the locomotives, and that's just what we have to deal with. A lot of deer hunting goes on this hill. Old Cuz is our outdoor sportsman. He'll give you all the updates on all the deer hunting. Well, we finally made it over Trenton Hill. It's taken all this time to get up the hill, and we're motivating along. This is the little town of Trenton, South Carolina. They say it's they're big into growing peaches around here. Used to be a depot right there on the left where that metal box is on that little pole. That's all that's left there now. Big old depot there. It's nothing but a farming community now. Next big town we come into is Johnston.
Wow. That's a big one.
All right. Here we are again. We're coming into Johnston, South Carolina. Johnston is the peach capital. That's what they say about themselves. They're the peach capital. Do a lot of peach growing. Sad to say that over the years, Al and I have hit a lot of cars in Johnston, and it's been kind of unfortunate. I don't know why the people want to pull out in front of us the way they do, but people in a hurry these days, and that's what they do. But anyway, we go through the town of Johnston. Chris doing a fine job. We're over there running about 43 miles an hour. He's still got the throttle laid in the corner. We've got a friend down here that runs a Texaco oil company. We stop by and see him every once in a while. He likes to talk to us about what's going on the railroad and one thing and another like that. And he's got one of the oldest Texaco distributorships anywhere around. It's been, his grandfather started it, then his daddy, of course, came into it. Now he came into it, and he's fixing to retire here in the next few years. He's over. That's his building right there. Edwards Oil Company. And he sells fuel oil to all the people that live around. And that's the town of Johnston. The next town we'll come to will be Ward, South Carolina. It's nothing much to Ward. It's just a little dip in the road. See all the peach fields? This is peach.
Orchards.
Yeah, excuse me, orchards.
Cotton fields.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Ain't like you got so many kids.
Yeah. Act like I was raised down south, right? Yeah. And anyway, that is a fact. I screwed that one up showing up. We see a lot of Mexicans. Mexicans have gotten where they've come over here a good bit, and they do a lot of picking of these peaches and so forth. And that building on the right up there, the crossing, has a peach packing shed. They pick those peaches. we have been known to pull the train up there before and stop and get us a load. And, but all this country between here and Columbia is a lot of peach farming going on. I'd like to hear that compared to the knowledge, you know, what I've gotten off. That big old tree right there, that is the big pecan tree. That is an old farm that is still owned obviously by someone, but nobody lives there in that farmhouse. We're coming in. The reason for the big pecan tree is that's where Chris notches off on the throttle to get ready for the town of Ridge Spring, which is where we're getting into next. Ridge Spring is a nice, just another little town, just like what we've been going through. There's a little story here. We've got to look at Harvey the rabbit. Harvey is a rabbit. We nicknamed him Cowboy because we didn't know what his real name was, and he lives right up here on the left. We're going to see if we can't get a picture of old Harvey. Harvey the rabbit. There's the judge, and there's Harvey and Harvey's house. Now there's a story about that. That's old Judge Sawyer, David Sawyer. He's a Lexington County judge. He's on the circuit, and that's his rabbit. His rabbit lives in the house there in the old dog pen. The old judge had a problem with dogs messing around his house, and so he came out there one night and took a shotgun to scare him off, and he went to scare the dogs off and messed around and shot Harvey. And anyway, he went and checked on old Harvey, and Harvey was bleeding back up in that old doghouse where he lives. And so he went in there and told his wife about it, and his wife told his girls, and blessed old Judge's heart, he's got 3 kids, and all of them's girls. And so, you know, a poor man was living in a house with 4 women just don't stand a chance. They made the judge take the poor rabbit that was bleeding to death down to Batesburg and have him fixed up by the veterinarian. And of course the veterinarian charged the old judge a couple $100 to patch old Harvey up. But anyway, that's the story about Harvey. Al and I have been coming through here for 5 years, and we'd always check on Harvey. We called him Cowboy, and the reason we called him Cowboy is because...
Track 192 over.
Oh, hold on a minute. There you go.
OS track 4934.
All right, Larry, we can go S 934 by the R150 over.
OS 934 by the R150, 922, 922 AM.
934 OS by the R150, 922, 922 AM. Go back, thank you, Larry.
Dispatch 156 over.
Well, we had to take care of a little business there. We got a train that's following us, and we had to OS our track warrant, which means that we are by that milepost that he just gave the dispatcher, the 150. In other words, the dispatcher is going to give that train that's behind us limits to come up to the 150. And so, in other words, that's how he keeps him apart from us, keeps him from running into the back of us by designating the milepost behind us that we've already passed. Back to the story of Harvey. Al and I nicknamed him Cowboy because Al says that any good cowboy sits with his back against the wall. And every time we'd ride by there and see Harvey would be sitting with his back either up against the back of his rabbit house or the back of the fence. So he always had his back up against something, and a lot of times he'd watch the train go by. But his back was always up against the wall, so we nicknamed him Cowboy because of that. You know, good cowboy sits up against the wall. And so anyway, that's the name. It's as a matter of fact, the judge has given Al and I peaches in the summertime, and we've stopped by and checked on Harvey when we've had time, and we've even gotten a Christmas card this year from Harvey. Harvey sent us a Christmas card with the judge and his wife and 3 pretty daughters, and so we just made a little contact. Little neighbor, the judge likes to train, used to ride on the railroad out here years ago when he was young, and grew up around here. This place was called Ridge Spring, but on the old railroad maps that Chris knows how to get into the computer, the old railroad maps call this the Ridge, and this is a ridge that runs through the part of the state. It's amazing to me how the early people that laid all this out could grasp all that and build a railroad, you know, like that in a place like this. But anyway, so much for all that. We coming in now to a little town called Monetta, and then we'll be coming into Batesburg and Leesville, and then on over to Summit, where we'll see another train, I think, that may be there. I don't know if he's there or not, but we got a ticket to run on by there, so he wouldn't, if he's there, he's already in the clear for us.
Right on the money.
Good. We're just passing through the town of Monetta, running 47 miles an hour. Chris got him, he got him in the wind. He's doing a good job. He's looking at his notes. He's got his notes over here in his lap. Trying to leave him alone, let him do his thing. That's the only way he's gonna learn it. He's got to make a few little mistakes here and then learn from them. We're going down a hill now. What he's doing, he's shut off the power and he's setting up the dynamic brake, and he's going to control the speed down through this bottom down in here. Then he's going to shut his dynamic brake off and go right back into the power and pull him up the other side of the hill. We're dead downhill right now. This place on the left here is called Amick Farms. They get a lot of corn in there. They raise chickens. Isn't that right, Al? They raise chickens? Amick Farms?
Yeah.
They raise chickens and sell them to processing plants. That's part of the Amicks that have the race team. This is where that particular race team, NASCAR race team, comes from. Now he's coming up over the crest and he's working that throttle out, stretching the train out. In between each of the cars is slack action. He's got to stretch that out slowly, keep from tearing the train in two. When he feels the slack come out, he starts plowing on them. That means he gets after that throttle. He works that throttle, get the speed back up. We drop down to about 46 miles an hour, and he's pulling to try to keep the speed going. We can run 49 till we get to Summit. Then the speed, due to the curve restrictions, drops back to 45. He's doing a good job. He's going to be a good engineer. Well, we're coming into Batesburg. Got a bunch of buzzards out here flying around. Must be something dead. They hunting something to eat. Them New Jersey chickens up there from, I believe we got one of them, didn't we? Up there from Minnesota. There's the old Judge again. Old Judge came up there to see us. Brought his daughter. Yes, sir. There's the track supervisor driving off. That you, Mr. Smith? Me and old Cuz are still waiting on our hams.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all the help I can get too, you know.
Yeah, I know it. We're going to help you out Sunday night about 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's just fine. I'll be on vacation. I'm still all right. Baby, your call.
I hear you, boy. I hear you. Y'all have a nice day. If we don't talk to you, have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Dan. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. I've just been going on with you. Everything's fine. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
That train out there at Hamburg don't have one to
I tell you, we hit that tree yesterday coming through there. It's nothing but a top. It's just a top. It needs to be cut out. I mean, you know, we whacked it again today coming through there, but it's not going to, it would hurt somebody if it was on the side of a car, but that's it. It's just a tree that got leaned over, dead tree, the top of it.
Yeah, Wayne Stars don't run in there with the crate on this morning.
Yeah, it won't be any problem. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Over and out.
Norfolk 140.8. No defects.
No defects. All right, we're by Batesburg coming into a little town of Leesville. These two towns, you wouldn't even know one from the other hardly. They call them the Twin Cities. Get up here, we'll go by a business on the left-hand side called Columbia Farms. They're just like Amick Farms. They produce chickens. They have a chicken processing plant in West Columbia. They buy a lot of feed and send out to the farmers that raise chickens. People like Holly Farms and places, you know, people like that buy them.
They got their own producer.
Oh, they do? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they used to produce a Holly Farm. Up here, it's the top of a hill down here in Leesville, and we'll drop off the side of that hill. Chris will work that throttle down and go back into the dynamic braking, and he'll brake the train about 2 miles down to the bottom of the hill, and we'll go through some what we call a riprap. It's just up and down, and then we'll come into Summit. Freight train is kind of like a big roller coaster. It's not as nearly as rough riding, and doesn't seem to be as fast, but a freight train, you've either got to, it's not like an automobile. Riding on the steel rails with the steel wheels, there's very little friction and there's so much weight. The freight cars and even the locomotives, if it's downhill, a descending grade, it'll roll. And if it's uphill, of course, you got to pull it. So you're constantly, you do very little just rolling along, just freewheeling along. You're either pulling it or you're braking it all the time. Up on him, Chris. Good. Y'all might not have seen this in the tape, but we were worried about a tractor-trailer truck that was sliding up to the crossing there. We saw him on the side road. We've had a lot of bad experiences with those.
No defects.
No defects.
About like this?
Yeah.
Tighten back up on the other side.
Well, you got this hump here to go over, and then down in that bottom, and then you got your last hump before you go down to the 123. So let them drift like you're going. They're doing good.
So the other hump is right there by the other switches.
Correct.
Back down
Correct. That is correct. It's a PYA here. You see how it goes down in this bottom and hold the head in ain't good enough to where it won't run out.
Just do like I am.
Yeah. And then if you want to, as soon as you go through this next bottom here, shut him back to setup and just let it push you.
Okay.
Till you get to those switches up there, and then when you get to the Owen steel switch, then pull back out on him, get him loading back up again. Yeah, when you get in the bottom, just shut him back to set off and let him. You really don't need all this, a little heavier on the amperage. Let's put him in setup now. There we go. Straight downhill, you remember your whistle post down there as you're going up you keep your speed under control, don't let them get over like 42. Get on down here to that whistle post down there in that bottom where you turn to the left there. Knock it off and work him out to number 5, being number 5 up there by Wildlife Road. Right. And when you come over the crest at the radio tower, start shutting back down on him and being dynamic brake at the box factory to go into Lexington. We've already come by Summit, and we're just handling this train. This is a spot that's kind of tough to get through. So we're working on train handling right now. This is what we do. And Chris will, I hope, will be with me through about the middle of January anyway. And then he'll pass and he'll move on to another engineer on another line, and he'll work with them for a while. And then you'll come back, won't you? Won't you come back in a few months to do kind of a refresher to keep you up?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah, I hope you'll come back anyway. There you go. There you go. Working, baby, working. Road, dangerous little crossing. It's the last hill you go up over before you drop down into Lexington.
That's where who lives?
Yeah, I wonder who lives in Lexington. That's God's country, isn't it, Chris?
That's right, Lexington.
It's a shame people out in Colorado don't know where God's country is, isn't that right?
That's right.
Poor Miss Rebecca, all she needs to do is just put her foot down and say, look here, we're moving to South Carolina. Isn't that right?
Yeah, come on. Come on down. Start knocking off through here?
Wait till you get to the crossing. Get over the crest. And do it slowly. You don't want to be, you want to be starting to load the dynamic down there in the container.
Okay.
Yeah, 196 on this tower. Yeah, like Mr. Master Mile Post, we'll fit anywhere, drink.
Hi, 192, yeah, application over.
Right on, like you going.
And that is the track on the long move. How much longer you gonna need the eastbound over?
Got the speed route right if you can hold it.
Yeah, so that's correct. They're going to make you move there. You want to show clearly.
Remember in your mind how Lexington looks. Got a bottom down here to the other side of Highway 6. Then it goes up over a little rise where the old oil company was on the right. And you drop down into your big bottom going up to Nixon Yard brick. Might have to hold that thing the way it's pushing you. These old dynamics not quite as strong as they ought to be.
That's an SD40 behind us.
Oh, is that right? SD40? No wonder.
We all right?
Yeah, we're fine. We're gonna hold it. You can wait till you get to the crossing if you need to. Dump it and then come on out very lightly. Get a good look at this when you go around the curve. You know, you got a little bottom there where that crossing is, and a little slight rise. Little slight rise. See it? I believe I got it zoomed in. Goes up the hill by Nixon Yard Brick. And we'll crest over the hill, go down to Columbia. Oh man, you got it right on your wing. 41 miles an hour, that's just right. Just right. Might have to get one. Don't let him hit you. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Came in a little bit.
Yes, all right. Well, everybody, we're back again. We're coming into West Columbia. Took a little break there, and we're about to finish up our trip. See what time it is. It's only 10:15. I told you this was old man's rocking chair job that we're riding on. We've got to go into yard limits down here, and that's where we've got to be under real good control. They'll put a little test on us to make sure we can stop properly.
Oh, they know about the banner.
Y'all know all about the banner. That's good.
They ought to.
Yeah. Good. Everybody needs to know about the banner. Banner's a serious deal. Yeah, truck gonna run out in front of us. That's what everybody else has been doing it this morning. Got them just right, baby. Just right. Just pull them just a little bit. Keep them moving until you get down there and shut off again. It's about a mile and a half through yard limits, and we'll start through town, go into the yard, through the town of Columbia, go into the yard. We'll yard the train, put the engines in the shop. All that takes about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from right now. We'll be off, well, we'll be off by 11 o'clock. Excuse me, about 12 o'clock. 10:15, it'll be about 12 o'clock. We'll be off and we'll be finished for our little run for the day. That'll be an 8-hour day.
I'll tell them all that stuff. I don't know.
Well, I really don't know that much about it. Al might know more about it than I do. This track, we're coming into Casey, South Carolina, and this track to the right is the C line. We've been riding on the R line. And the milepost numbers, I didn't tell you this, but leaving Augusta, it was the milepost 190, and that is 190 miles from Charlotte Junction. The C line started right here, and this is the 109. I'm right on Al. Wasn't this the C109? Yeah, and that's milepost also from Charlotte Junction to here. This line used to go all the way. When I hired out on the railroad, it went to Furman. Yeah, it was Furman, wasn't it? Yeah, it went down to Furman, South Carolina. We had a fertilizer man down there, and that was it was 100 miles from here. We started taking up the railroad track because there just wasn't any business on it, and it's back to now where it only goes out about 20 miles to work the sand pit, auto ramp. We have a automobile unloading facility and a few things like that out there, and that's about it. Go around the curve here, and we'll cross over the Congaree River. And the Congaree River at 190. Let's get that number off that truck.
NW White, number 190.
Yes, sir. Truck number 190. That was the number on the dump bed of the truck. NW White 190. Went around the car, stopped at the crossing, and through the lights flashing, and to the rock quarry, right on to the rock quarry. Over.
State 3 over.
State Street, yes, sir.
And they're going west to east, so chop you over. What's your head engine over?
Lead engine is a 9176, 9176 over.
Copy it. House.
200 feet.
About 5 car lengths, 4 car lengths, about 200 feet.
Copy it. Any speed over? Y'all over?
No, so we were going pretty slow, about 10 or 12 miles an hour. But it's just the fact that the lights were working on the crossing, and he shot it. He went around the car and crossed over. Didn't stop for us. We were blowing the horn, and the car had already stopped.
I understand over now. Hamlet here. Shortly over. Appreciate the information over.
Thank you, sir. Over and out.
Appreciate it. Especially holiday.
That's what we're supposed to do when we have a near miss like that. Although you don't think, we just hit one of their trucks. Not this job, not this particular job, but one of the other jobs that runs to Augusta. Hit one of their trucks about 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, because they ran out in front of us. So this is a problem that needs to be, they need to address to their drivers. This is coming into Columbia. Just crossed over the river, Congaree River. Come on around up here to UG Street, and then we'll go into the yard.
Well, here we are, arriving to Columbia, getting ready to head in the yard. That's the buildings in Columbia. We've had a nice little trip. We just spent an hour waiting on the seaboard to let us go by. We got a switch up here, that red switch target that's up there in front of us. That switch is wrong. We've got to stop and make that switch right there right. Then we'll go right on in the yard to train and get off. All right, everybody, we're arriving Andrew's yard. Andrew's yard consists of 2 yards. The west yard, we're going beside it right now, and the east yard, which is down there in front of us, and there's a tower right down there that the yard master sits in, and we call him he's the eye in the sky, and he directs all the moves in both of the yards. Both of the yards are about a mile long each, a little less than that. The tape is about out, and so is the battery, and we just want to say whoops, I hit the camera. We just want to say we've enjoyed this, and we've had a good time, and hope y'all have had a Merry Christmas out there in Colorado, and everything that goes on with that. And Eddie, next time you come to Columbia, I want to meet you, boy. I've heard a lot about you, and so all that. Cuz, you got anything you want to say?
Happy holidays to the folks in Colorado.
All right. Let's take one last picture. Junior over here.
We forgot to get a rendition of a carol.
Yeah, might have to sing a rendition of some kind of a Christmas carol before this thing quits. Tell Mama bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We'll just put this thing down and let it play right on out.
What kind of carol you want to sing?
I thought I've been working on the railroad.
Sing the carol.
Well, it will do good for the day.
Bell are going out, we'll join in.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
I ain't a carol neither.
Is that? Oh, that's Markham. Like Pete Stone. It's like Mr. Wimmer's not even here.
He's over there. That's the police right there.
Is that the police?
Yeah.
And that's 156, and that's Andrew's Tower.
What song are we going to sing, y'all?
How about Jingle Bells? Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Sing the carol neither.
You lead off.
Rosewood Drive, over.
Sing silent now.
Go ahead. Get up there by the mic.
I got to check the switches.
Sounds to me like you ain't wanting to get up there and do it. We lined up. They got somebody in the back of the police car.
Did they really?
Yeah.
You reckon they went and got that driver?
That would have been nice.
I don't reckon they'd haul him off of jail.
Line in number 7.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. You guys ever heard that song?
Oh, it's probably not a Christmas carol.
That ain't appropriate since Sandy's grandma just passed on.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad name.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Oh no, that's all right. You know, there's no battery showing. This thing's still recording. How about that?
What's that?
Uh-oh, it's saying no battery now. Set.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the fan on. It's getting kind of warm.
Yeah, cut the air conditioning on. We've gone from 28 degrees to
It's cool outside.
68 degrees. Time for the AC, isn't it?
Got that right.
Well, it's lunchtime. It's time to eat something.
That thing still taping?
I don't know. Yep, it still is.
Yeah, we could get a rendition of Whiskey River.
Oh, that's the second verse.
Willie Nelson sings.
Bert, listen to me calling you Bert.
Calling him
Junior,
Bert.
have you told your mom about how much you drinking down there with us at cocktail hour in Augusta?
Oh, yeah. I had 2 glasses of wine last week.
2 bottles of wine. What are you talking about? 2 bottles of
Those are the
wine.
mini bottles.
Yeah. You ain't got very high taste like that screw-off cap wine.
I don't know, you can't talk about his taste now. We went to get us a bottle of liquor and he wanted that Absolute.
Yeah.
Off me. Let's get Absolute.
Yeah.
$18 a fifth.
Oh, me.
He ain't skimped on y'all's Christmas presents. I want y'all to know that. They can buy $18 a fifth liquor.
Being a railroad man, taking a drink's a rite of passage, isn't it? Yeah.
You gonna save that propaganda?
I don't know. I think we'll put it on the bulletin board. What
Yeah,
you think?
exactly.
Put it on the bulletin board.
You put it in your bag. I'll have mine stuffed by the time I gotta not forget to get my lunch out of the thing that I brought and didn't eat.
I can't believe it's still percolating along and not showing any battery.
Can you tell if it's still taped?
Yeah.
We'll get some of Junior over here. He's shining hit the yard track.
Yeah, well, okay. Take a look, one more last look at Junior before the tape runs out.
Hello.
Finishing up the run. Are you Mighty Casey?
That's me.
Yeah.
We don't need to be like Casey, though.
No, we don't need to be like Casey. Got a steady hand on the throttle and a cool hand on the brake.
More there, 192.
15, 192.
More 192.
10.
And then tower to 156 there, we'll go around the horn in the east yard number 6, so. Alright, number 6. Still got those 2 charges on the head. Yeah, that's right, on them. Alright, thank you. How about 7 or 8 more than 192?
Alright, 7 or 8.
About 5 more, 192, 5.
Just 5 more.
Just 5 more. Do we need to practice? Do we need to practice saying board? What? Give us
3 more, 3.
give us your rendition of a good board.
What?
There you go. There you go. Shame we don't have a caboose.
One, and by the time we get a stop, be good there, Chris.
Stopping 192, Jeff.
Okay. Good job, good job, good job. Just right. 46 seconds.
46 seconds.
Boy, this is a tape full.
Gonna have all kinds of good stuff on this tape.
Yeah. This will be a good tape to sleep through.
Sleep
You know,
through.
you watch 5 minutes and you're over there nodding on the couch.
Al ought to be calling here in a second.
Yep.
That track goes to Charleston. Down.
Y'all 192.
He called you.
Slacking off 192.
We get 196.
Don't forget to knock your EOT down.
Yeah, let's not get the EOT down on the computer here. Exit. EOT. Making all zeros.
Know to beat.
I guess it's knocked down. Should I make this 702 or leave it?
No, I leave it. I normally do.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, it's good enough. Al's tying the train down. That's putting the handbrakes on the train, and then we're gonna take these old tired horses and put them in the barn.
That's right. Put them in the barn and head for the house.
That's right. They'll be fed and watered during the night tonight, and get them to check the air pressure in the tires. Did you tell them about that slack tire on that other engine? We need to get check the air pressure in that tire.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want any more slack tires on these locomotives.
No, we don't.
Then we'll be ready to go in the morning.
That's right. How much tape is left in that thing?
It says it ought to have been through, but there's a little tiny weeny bit left.
Got a little hangover in there.
Yeah, a little hangover. Do you know anything about hangovers?
No, I don't know.
You don't know a thing about hangovers,
I
do
don't
you?
know about that.
I don't either.
I think my mom told me about them one time.
Yeah. It's good enough. If Mama tells you it isn't the thing to do, that's just the way it is. Well, tell everybody bye-bye, Mama.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.